Good afternoon, students. Hope you are all well. We have studied 3 units of Intermediate Headway Plus, and today we are going to study Unit 4. We will study modal verbs, nationality words, requests, and offers. Introduction to modal verbs. The modal verbs are can, could, may, might, must, will, would, should, and ought to. They are known as modal auxiliary verbs because they help another verb. So modal verbs you can say in Arabic أفعال مساعدة اللي هي can and could اللي هي past tense of can, may, might is the past tense of may, must, will, would also is the past tense of will, should, and ought to. They are known as modal auxiliary verbs because they help another verb. يعني تسميتهم modal auxiliary verbs because they help another verb. For example, I can swim. I can swim. Swim here is the verb. Can is the modal auxiliary verb. It helps another verb. So can here helps the verb swim. I can swim. Do you think I should go? Do you think I should go? So here should is the auxiliary, modal auxiliary verb, and go is the main verb. So should here helps the verb go. The use of modal auxiliary verbs. Modal verbs express our attitudes, opinions, and judgments of events. المودal verbs تعبر عن attitude موقفنا or opinions آرائنا and judgments of events يعني الحكم على الأحداث. Compare. We are going to compare these two sentences. Who's that knocking on the door? It's John. This is a fact. If we say it's Ahmed, it is a fact that is Ahmed who is knocking on the door. It's Sarah. Also, it is a fact. But when we ask who's that knocking on the door and we answer, it could or may or might or must or should or can't or will be John. These all express our attitude or opinion. So here the first sentence when we answer it's John, it is a fact. And the second sentence when we answer it could be John or it might be John or it must be John, these all express our attitude or opinion. يعني من نجاوب it could be John هاي معناها شنو؟ احنا نعبر عن رأينا أو نعبر عن موقفنا. Each modal verb has at least 2 meanings. One use of all of them is to express possibility or probability. معناها يعني هي أكيد عندها أكثر من معنى مو أقل من 2 معاني. لكن المعنى الأكيد اللي موجود بيهم احنا نعبر عنه هو possibility الإمكانية probability والاحتمالية. For example, I must post this letter. I must post this letter. This sentence is an obligation. When we say I must post this letter, it is an obligation. يعني أكو التزام that we must post this letter. You must be tired. You must be tired. That is a deduction and a probability. When you say I am tired, or somebody tells you that you must be tired, it is either a deduction or probability. A deduction means استدلال أو استنتاج إنه استنتج أنت تعبان. الشخص المقابل استنتج أنت تعبان. So he said you must be tired, or a probability or احتمالية إنه أنت تعبان. Could you help me? That is a request. Could you help me? A request هاي معناها طلب. we could go to Spain for our holiday. That is a possibility. يعني احنا إمكانية ذهابنا إلى Spain for holiday للعطلة. It is a possibility we could go to Spain for our holiday. You may go home now. You may go home now. That is a permission. You may go home now. That is a permission. يعني طلب الإذن أو طلب السماحية بالذهاب. You may go home now. Where's Anna? I'm not sure. She may be at work. That is a possibility. I'm not sure. She may be at work. يعني إمكانية ممكن إنه هي تكون في عملها. So here she may be at work is a possibility. Note, could is used with a past meaning to talk about a general ability. Could, that is the past tense of can, is used with a past meaning to talk about a general ability. يعني نستخدم could when we talk about a general ability. يعني قدرة عامة. عندما نتكلم عن القدرة العامة. For example, I could swim when I was 6. That is a general ability. That is a general ability. To talk about ability on one specific occasion, we use was able to or managed to. عندما نتكلم عن القدرة في مناسبة محددة, we use either was able to or managed to. For example, the prisoner was able to or managed to escape by climbing on the roof of the prison. We do not use could escape. We either use was able to or managed to. يعني أما نستخدم ال was able to or managed to عندما نتحدث عن القدرة في مناسبة محددة. We do not use could. We use either was able to or managed to. Which two sentences mean the same? I am allowed to stay at my sister's house tonight. I can stay at my sister's house tonight. And I have to stay at my sister's house tonight. Which two sentences mean the same? The two sentences that mean the same are I am allowed to stay at my sister's house tonight and I can stay at my sister's house tonight. So the first two mean the same. Which sentence expresses obligation and which sentences express permission? The sentence that expresses obligation is I have to stay at my sister's house tonight. Obligation means here التزام. So I have to stay at my sister's house tonight. It expresses an obligation. And which sentences express permission? I am allowed to stay at my sister's house tonight and I can stay at my sister's home tonight too. So these two sentences express permission and this sentence I have to stay at my sister's house tonight express obligation. Complete the sentences with have to or don't have to. Children have to go to school. Children have to go to school. Millionaires don't have to work. Millionaires don't have to work. You go to England if you want to learn English. So here we use you have to go to England if you want to learn English. In England, you don't have to drive on the left. In England, you don't have to drive on the left. Have got to and have to both express obligation. يعني have got to و have to both express obligation. اثنيناتهم يعبرون عن الالتزام. have got to and have to. have got to refers to an obligation now or soon. لكن have got to refers to an obligation التزام الآن أو قريبا اللي هي have got to refers to an obligation now or soon. هذا الفرق بين have got to and have to. have got to refers to an obligation now or soon. It's often reduced to gotta. But here when we speak, we say gotta, that is American English. For example, I've got to go now. Bye. Can and be allowed to, can and be allowed to, both of them express permission. They express permission. But can is more informal and usually spoken. لكن المودل auxiliary verb اللي هو كان هذا غير رسمي في الاستخدام يعني في الكلام. هو غير رسمي ونستخدمه أكثر من be allowed to. It is informal. For example, you can borrow my bike, but you can't have the car. I need it. They can't come in here with those muddy shoes. You're allowed to get a driving license when you're 17. Are we allowed to use a dictionary for this test? He isn't allowed to park here. So, can here is more informal and usually spoken more than the word be allowed to. Look at these two sentences. We should take traveler's checks. You must look after your money. You should take traveler's checks and you must look after your money. So, those two words are modal auxiliary verbs. Should and must are modal verbs. Which sentence expresses strong obligation and which sentence expresses a suggestion? أي جملة تعبر عن الالتزام القوي، التزام شديد، التزام حتمي. And the other sentence تعبر عن الاقتراح أو المقترح. we should take traveler's check. Here this sentence expresses a suggestion. لأنه should مو قوة كلمة المust. it expresses a suggestion. اقتراح. And here the word must expresses strong obligation. يعني التزام حتمي. You must look after your money. هذا التزام شديد أو التزام حتمي. لكن when you say we should take traveler's check, that is a suggestion. هذا اقتراح ممكن تقترحه على الأشخاص. What type of verb are should and must? As I said before, they are modal auxiliary verbs. Here we have nationality words اللي هي الأسماء الجنسية للأشخاص. All nationality words have capital letters in English. انتوا أكيد يعني مر عليكم أنه من تكتبون جنسية الشخص لازم في بداية الكلمة هي capital letter. The Brazilians حتى لو ما تكون في بداية الجملة. The Brazilians. The Italians. You see here that it is a capital letter. The British. The British. If the adjective ends in se, ze, she or che, مثل ما ذكرت لكم قبل انه اذا تشوفون هاي الخطوط المائلة معناها هاي مو اللتر، هاي الساوند، الصوت، صوت وحتى ما نقول اس، نقول س، ز. هذا صورة الحرف، الصورة هاي الش، تلفظ ش، هاي اللي هي مثل الاس لكن كبيرة ومائلة، ش. وهاي اللي هي تي والاس المائلة الكبيرة هاي تلفظ ش. فإذا س ز ش or ش. If the adjective ends in s z sh or ch, there is no s at the end of the word for the people. ما نخلي s for the people. Japanese, the Japanese. Spanish, the Spanish. Sometimes the word for the people is different from the adjective. The word for the people كلمة للأشخاص is different from the adjective تختلف عن الصفة. For example, Scottish نقول the Scots. Finnish اللي هي الفنلنديين نقول the Finns. So تشوفون هاي اختلاف بين كلمة Scottish و the Scots. تختلف ال word for the people from the adjective. And Finnish the Finns.